So technically, we're all four participating in the EVA, in the spacewalk. We don't have the resources to create a separate airlock. It's just the capsule. So you got to bring the entire capsule down to vacuum. So over the last couple of years, we've developed a protocol where we're going to start at a certain PSI, atmospheric pressure, and then we'll bring it down while we're increasing the concentration of oxygen. To the overall intent is to mitigate any risk of DCS, decompression sickness. Because again, you don't want to be in that type of environment scenario and have to deal with an emergency such as DCS with nitrogen bubbles in your body that can get lodged where you don't want it to. So we want to dilute ourselves of these bubbles. So we've come up with this protocol with the help of NASA, and that's why we spent a couple years ago. We spent a couple days inside of a chamber, going through a certain protocol. We've made some adjustments over the years, and then eventually landed on this stair-step procedure that we've set up. Another challenge is the amount of oxygen and nitrogen and nitrox that we can bring on board. We have these COPV, these canisters that contain these gases, and so we can't necessarily do a NASA-like pre-breathe of 100% oxygen just because we just don't have the quantity available. So that's why we kind of doing this stair-step protocol for our pre-breathe. So all intents, we get it down to a point on day 3 where we'll get into our spacesuits. And I can talk about the spacesuits here in a second, but then to finish the process, we'll pressurize in these suits. We'll bring the entire vacuum down to 0, which will allow us to open up the hatch. And then based on the allotted time available to mitigate all the risk and have enough to deal with any type of contingency or reprise scenario where we, have to deal with something, Jared will go outside. He'll open the hatch. He'll go outside. He'll do some experiments. He'll come back in after about 15, 20 minutes. And then Sarah will go outside, and she will do her experiments, and then she will close the hatch, and then we'll repress the entire capsule, depress the suits, and we'll be back to atmospheric pressure. While they're doing that, we're inside. Space is right there. We could reach up and put our hand in space. But we're there for safety observation, manning the capsule in case something does happen. We're also the eyes and ears. These are amazing suits, but there are some limitations, and some of it's in the visibility based on where the visor is and where they can turn their head, because you are in a pressurized suit. And so we can keep an eye on things like hatch seals and umbilical management, because these are umbilical fed suits. So we all have our specific roles and responsibilities that are important for a successful mission.